going to make a start because this live will be recorded as the first tutorial for Truly Tulips, which is this lovely kit here. And I'm going to be stitching up parts of this design. So the kit's available, PDF is available, and I'm going to show you how to do some of those stitches in there. So we're going to go straight to the stitch guide, and we're going to work on these lovely little leaves here. And we're going with fly stitch, and it's 3 strands. See here, I'm just putting the fabric into the hoop. I want to make sure that that is super tight in there. Okay, so on the fabric here you can see I have sunsets and supermoons, and obviously this is Truly Tulips, so there was a mistake made by myself on that, but yeah, sneak spoiler, there is a kit about to be released called Sunsets and Supermoons. So I'm just going to line up those 3 strands there. I'm going to get my needle. I'm going to do a nice fresh end on there. Nice quilter's knot in the end, so we're going to do a little T across the finger. See if we can get the focus on that. And we're going to wrap round. 1, 2. Hi Martha! Let's give you all a little wave. I'm going to pull that through, and we get the lovely knot at the end there. Okay, so we're going to work on these stitches here, which is this lovely bit here. Very delicate, just 3 strands, and I'm going to do little French knots on the end. So fly stitch, it's one of my favourite ones, and it's super simple and it's really quick and really easy. So we're going to start at the end of the branch. Oh, Brian went blank then. There we are, first stitch in there. And then we're going to come to the edge of the branch and the edge of the other branch, and we're going to make a little loop like that. We're going to come back in at the centre, catch in the loop, and then we're going to pull. And there's your first branches, and we're going to close it back down at the centre again. Okay, and then to go with your next one, you're going to come to the end of the branches, again making a loop, back in at the centre and through the loop that you just made, and pull. You can see your branches are closed off, so we're going to keep going down. Another loop. Back up in the centre. Close. So I don't know if you remember from my last live, there was an alarm going off outside. This time I've got peace and quiet. In fact, I can hear the birds outside today. There we go. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so you can see that clearly. Okay. Back in the centre. And pull. I love fly stitch. One way you can play around with it and do variations is make your branches out, going smaller, shorter and longer, adding different colours. Back in the centre, so you can see you catching that loop each time. There we go. Now as we get to this bottom part here, you can see that the lines don't really have anywhere to go, so we're just going to finish off those lines with straight stitches. Oh, Naomi, so gorgeous. There we go. So there we have beautiful fly stitch. Really lovely stitch, and this is what the finished stitches will look like. Yeah. And we just need to put some French knots around the edges. Okay, so first off, to knot off our thread at the back. This is how I like to knot mine off. So I like to make a little loop like this. I come up in the centre, hold the end to one side and pull on the other side, and as it gets smaller, put a finger on top, pull, and the knot just sits on top there. And you can do 2 of those. Alternatively, some people like to weave under their stitches, just to weave in any loose ends, like that. And then I'm going to give it a little snip. Okay, now we're ready for yellow, threaded yellow, so that we can do our French knots. Now I chose this skein within the kit, which is this gorgeous DMC yellow, but it's one of the special embroidery threads. So as with the others, I'll show you on this one, that is a length of thread, but it comes in 6 strands. Whether you can see that, let's get the focus right, there we are. This one comes, I think it's 3 very tightly twisted, so I just use that as one length, one thread. I'm going to thread this. I'll show you that quilter's knot again. So we're going to cross it on your finger, round and round. So you've got 2 loops on your finger. Hold those loops and push your needle through. Pull all the way and you get a lovely knot there. Okay, so French knots. I'm just going to rest my hands on the table. I'm going to zoom in so you can see. Here we go. So we're going to start at the end of the branch here. Bring your needle up. I'm going to place the work down. I'm going to put the length of thread over my fingers on my non-stitching hand. I'm going to put the needle just behind, and then I'm going to wrap once, twice, and then I'm going to turn my needle back down into my fabric. Now at this point with French knots, some people forget to take away any slack, and that gives you a baggy French knot. You don't want a baggy French knot, you want it to be nice and tight. But if it's too tight, you're not going to get the ivy needle through. So it takes a bit of practice, but let's have a go with this one. So you can see there, I'm just going to wiggle the needle down. You can see I've got the loops tightened around the needle, and I've got them touching the fabric. I want them as close to the fabric as possible. I'm going to push the needle through, and then you wait to hear the pop. Pull your thread through, and there we go. I'm going to work around the branch. So again, put your hand underneath the thread, needle to the back, wrap, wrap, and turn your needle down. And you want to pull the slack away and pull your needle through. You wait for the pop and pull. There we go. It's just started raining here. Sounds quite heavy actually. The skies went really, really dark. Wrap 1, 2, turn your needle down, pull away the slack, pop, and pull through. There we go. And we'll go again. Somebody's just knocked at the door. Great timing. So we're going to put the needle behind, wrap 1, wrap 2, turn your needle back down into the fabric, little push, pull away the slack, and you're going to push your needle through to the back. Listen for the pop, and pull your thread all the way through. Just like that. So the finished result is going to be these beautiful branches here, here, and here. Really, really pretty. French knots are one of my favourite stitches. Like one of my absolute favourites. They're so versatile. You can fill in areas, you can cover up any mistakes. They can be used as textured, you can use them in text. Beautiful in florals and in botanicals. Really, really pretty stitch. And it's one that I think people can be quite nervous of because it seems quite difficult to do. But once you have, it's all about the tension. Once you have the tension right, it works so well. There we go. So I'll finish this side of the branch and then I'll move on to the next leaf. We'll pull through. Oh, did you? I think a lot of people do. Like, oh God, not French knots, but I do think they're one of the most versatile stitches. Have you used them for anything other than like botanicals? Have you used them in like quite a different way? Like I love them in clouds. There we go. So you can see they all sit around the outside there. And we're going to, oh, you can see I've caught my fabric there, my thread there. Never mind, we can tie that all in. So we're going to knot the end of the thread. The rain is really coming down. I don't know if it might end up affecting signal because all the kids are doing their homework. Daniel is playing on his Xbox, so everyone is using the internet, and usually when the rain comes down like this we do have a bit of interference, so fingers crossed we'll be okay, but if we don't we will start again. Now, I caught my thread there, so I'm going to try and tie this in so it doesn't make a mess. What did you feel you were doing wrong with your French knots to start with, Martha? Here we go. Was it a tension thing? There we go, right, we'll snip that off.